All right, so today we are going to be taking a look at a Lego Sonic mock of all things in Studio. This is a level that Lego has never made before, so if you are a classic Sonic fan, you might enjoy this one. If you're not, hey, stay tuned anyway, because I need the views. No, but if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next bit, I guess. Let's hop on over. All right, so this right here, I think it's recognizable pretty instantly as Carnival Night Zone, although I think Lego would call this something like Carnival Loop Challenge or something along those lines. I think it's a really good representation of the level. It's got a handful of different gimmicks with these 5 modules here. Total, 1 very large module, 2 sort of small modules, 1 medium module, and then of course the loop itself. And I really like how this looks. The thing is, if you're not familiar with Carnival Night Zone, it's kind of color vomit. So it can be a little bit difficult to make a level like this, but of all of the gimmick levels from classic Sonic, I do think it's the one that's most friendly for a Lego theme. Not only because it's carnival themed, which has a lot of backwards compatibility with like theme parks and I was gonna say carnivals, circuses and fairs and things like that, right? Which Lego has done sets based on those. So you get a little bit of that extra backwards compatibility, like I said, but it's also just got the most identifiable gimmicks while being appropriate for kids, because the other zone's a casino zone, and then you have Spring Yard Zone, which is springs. Like, neat, I guess, but it's no one's favorite, I don't think. So, yeah, I really like how it came out, and as you could see, I should pull that back up here really quickly. OBS is being a little weird today, so bear with me. But as you can see, the little half pipe area here is yellow and white, while the flat floor is red and white. So you can kind of see my choices for the color scheme on the actual like loop, because it is a curve, being that yellow and white as well, but then red and white basically everywhere else on the ground, with just a little bit of blue to represent or hint at the water from Zone 2. Act 2, my bad. So yeah, really happy with the design of this. In terms of gimmicks, you of course get the loop itself, meaning you get the speed sphere, the slammer, all that stuff. You get this little circular bumper. I don't know what you'd want to call this, rotational bumper, whatever. The idea is that you can just hit this with the speed sphere and it spins around really quickly. Nothing too fancy. You also get one of the Badniks over here with the little spark plug guy. I don't know his name. I do apologize for that. You also get the Batbot Badnik and this one over here as well, which is like a clam with a gun. Again, don't know the name, but I love the idea. So 3 of the, I think only 3 Badniks in this zone anyway, so I think that's all of them. And I really like how all of them ended up coming out as well. The bat can spin its wings around because it's kind of, sort of what it's not exactly what it does, but you get the point, right? And I really like how the next section came out. So this is the large module. You have these spikes on the ground, so you're jumping over a spike pit, right? And the idea is that you can blast over this, and then you'll hit this drum here in the center, which is one of the barrels from the level. The probably most infamous part of this level is the barrels. The piece that's relying on is this zipline piece here in medium lavender. And the reason for this is because this is slightly elastic, so it can kind of stretch and give a little bit. And the idea is that when you actually ramp your character over the ramp, as you can see, then you can bounce off of that if you hit it. You might not hit it, you might not even clear it, who knows, but the idea is that occasionally you'll hit it and you can bounce. And because it just slides along these, you have some adjustability. The way that works right now is just going through the holes there, which I don't know that Lego would do it because that might be considered illegal, but there are holes in these pieces, so I'm just utilizing them. And of course it means trying to route the actual piece between there without crushing it, which again can be a bit difficult, but I like the concept at the very least. And I think if this can't be done, Lego can do something very similar to this. So outside of that, you have the checkpoint here, you have the vertical bumpers here, or horizontal, you can rotate them, so that's easy enough to do. And then you get a representation of a couple of the different tube pipe things that are in the level. There are a handful of different types in the level, so it's kind of a hybrid of all of them. Obviously much smaller than some, much different colors than others, but you get the point. Lastly here, before we get to the end module, you get a little breakaway wall. Nothing fancy, but it does have some little attachments for balloons, and the idea is that these balloons would be from like the old Lego the minifigure series, whatever that's called. From 2018, they actually made some balloon pieces in purple and orange. So I introduced 2 purple, 2 orange, as well as 2 brand new colors with blue and yellow here as well. They're a single piece, I believe, so the string on them is actually just dual molded into it, but I really like the piece in general. I think it looks a lot better than brick built balloons. And then just some background flags to sort of mimic the flags that appear in the level and on the top of the loop here as well. And lastly, you have a representation of the cannon that appears in these levels, particularly at the very end of the level for Act 2. The idea being that when you hit this, it kind of just rocks back and forth, similar to how it does in the game, except in the game you actually jump in it. That's not really possible to do with the speed sphere given the shape of this, but I didn't want to introduce a ton of pieces to make this. So instead I use it as sort of the capsule, if you will, to hold the clickies, the little things you're trying to say, the little animals. So really happy with how all of these came out. Each of the badniks can also hold animals. And I think that if you were going to see characters come with a set like this, because it's 464 pieces right now with the Sonic Slammer as well, with the characters, you're probably looking at close to around 500 pieces. I would like to see Sonic and Knuckles included, but honestly, LEGO would probably charge a bit more for this because there are a handful of big pieces here, a lot of recolors here as well. So you're probably looking at a set that'd be between $70 to $80. And of course, the Sonic sets seem to kind of come with a premium depending on what set you're buying. That's mostly because there's a lot of really specialized parts with the characters, specifically a lot of like dual molded legs and printing on the sides of this and that. So I get it. It is a bit of an expensive theme, but I think it kind of works in this case here. Sonic and Knuckles makes the most sense because Sonic gets the speed sphere, and then Knuckles, obviously both of them appear in this game that this is from, and means you get Knuckles for a second time. I really like how it's coming out so far. So there are definitely ways that I could extend this, expand it, make it something further than this. I would like to have a little module that doesn't really relate to the gameplay at all. So maybe a little thing for like Knuckles to break down or something, or a little, I don't want to say mech for Knuckles because again, I don't think that's appropriate for his character, but I'm fine with LEGO's characterization of them. That's no big deal. But I would like to see him have something dedicated to him. And I don't know what yet, so I'll figure something out, see what I end up liking. I don't know that Knuckles ever appears in any kind of mech as far as I'm aware, but hey, you know, maybe if I take a deep dive, I'll find something that he appears in or some other reference that could show up in a level like this so I can pay homage to something from there as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this one as well. I really like how it came out. I think that it represents the level well enough while also having things be identifiable and not too messy, even though it is an extremely colorful set. Something I would like to see from LEGO, because they've done sound bricks in the past, and I don't think it's completely necessary. And of course, there's licensing issues, but it'd be really cool if they had sound bricks so that when like Sonic could hit something, it could like play music from that zone, or it could play a sound from the game as well. I think that's such a cool idea. So as I was saying, that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comments, or you can, of course, join the conversation on Discord, Instagram, or if you want to support the channel, get some perks, Patreon down in the description below. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you all in the next one. And I guess let me know what zone you'd like to see next if you're a Sonic fan. Take care.